You're listening to Speaking Stellar Girl with Teri and Elise, an interview series that inspires women to live their most stellar life. Teri is the co-founder of the Stellar Girl movement, and she is sitting down with women all over the world to hear about the key moments in their lives and how they live boldly, compassionately, and ultimately became a stellar girl.
Welcome to Speaking Stellar Girl. I'm your host, Teri and I'm thrilled to have Elise Armitage joining me today. Elise is the writer behind What the FAB, a travel and lifestyle blog based in San Francisco, which she founded in 2012. In her writing, Elise shares her love for travel with a pinch of zest served with a side of real talk. She left her corporate job at Google to chase her dream of being an entrepreneur, and shares Stellar Girl's mission by inspiring women to find their fabulous in their everyday. So welcome, Elise. Thank you so much for being on Speaking Stellar Girl.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to chat today.
I am too, because I want to learn all about your blog and why you left your corporate job at Google. Because that is, we talk about, chasing our dreams and following your heart and following your gut and doing what you love and what you're passionate about. But I imagine working at Google wasn't so bad.
Yes, that is probably one of the main questions that I get asked a lot. Like, how did you make the decision?
Yeah.
Why did you leave? And how did you know it was the right time? So I had been blogging as, it started as a passion project and then it turned into my side hustle. And for 6.5 years, I was running it as, on the side while I was also working a full-time job. And when I was at Google, I was like, I had a really fun job at Google. I was doing branding and events. I got to host Google events at different offices around the world. I got to travel around. I did events in Brazil, India, Australia, Canada, like all over the place. But after a few years, I just kind of started to have this like gnawing feeling of like, both my parents are entrepreneurs. So I had seen this modeled for me, from a young age. And I just kind of started getting this gnawing feeling that was like, I really want to be my own boss. I really want to see if I have what it takes. I feel like, at Google, there are so many perks and wonderful things about working there. I mean, it's consistently ranked as the #1 company in the world to work for on the Forbes list and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if I am still having this feeling while I work for the best company in the world, like,
yeah.
It's not the company, it's me, like I need to pursue this and see if I can make it work. And so over my last couple of years at Google, I was starting to have this feeling. And then I finally, at the beginning of 2018, decided, okay, if I can get my blog to a place where it's making like a real livable income, then I'm going to do it. At the end of the year, I will make the decision and I will leave and I will try it. If I don't like being an entrepreneur, if it doesn't work, it's okay. I can always get another job, but like, if not now, when,
Right.
So I did it. And January 2019 was when I put in my notice. I actually just had my 3-year anniversary a few days ago, and it's just been super exciting. And I haven't looked back since.
That's congratulations. I absolutely love that. It's a great feel-good story, because so many people out there want to take that risk and you actually did that. So that's fantastic. Did you catch the travel bug from working at Google because you were traveling so much with the company, which, obviously they do events and you were that girl. So did you catch that bug from working there?
I mean, definitely. I think it expanded my like traveling horizon and I had some really cool experiences. I had my first time out of the country was my last summer right before I graduated college. I did like a study abroad program in Paris.
Okay.
So that was my first time out of the country. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like, this is so
Paris.
different. Yeah. I mean, it's Paris and it's like, when you're from a small town in the foothills of Sacramento, it's just like a very different, experience.
Of course.
So that was when I like first kind of got the travel bug. But then, yes, working at Google and just like, and to be fair, not everywhere that I traveled to was super glamorous. Sometimes it was like, you're going to Houston 3 times, this quarter. And it's like, all right, that's not exactly Paris, but like it was all over the place. But it definitely gave me the opportunity to visit places that I probably wouldn't have on my own, like India, for example, like that, was a very like different experience, like such a different culture. And traveling with Google in that way, I was able to like, visit a few different cities. And then also what I would do when I was kind of getting the travel section of my blog going more was if I had a trip, let's say to Bangalore with Google, I would kind of look around and see what are some other destinations nearby that I can also go to after I'm done with this conference, this event, and shoot some content there for the blog. So, okay, the Maldives are like a half hour away. Great. I'll spend a weekend in the Maldives, shoot a bunch of content.
Not so bad.
Exactly. And kind of like double dip in that way and really help to grow that travel section of my blog.
Well, I love your blog. So let's dive into there. And for those of you who are listening on Apple or Spotify, and you're not on YouTube and you're not seeing beautiful Elise in her spectacular, fabulous closet right now, I love that she's recording in there. That's just so much fun to see beautiful bags and shoes right behind you. So what the Fab? So great name, first of all.
Thank you.
And love that. I mean, and people who say blogs are dead are so not that is just not true. I mean, obviously blogs are not dead. Prime advertising dollars. People reach out and they write about so many things. And there's so many passionate writers out there that write about, what they love to do. And yours is fashion and mostly travel. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that. How did you decide, okay, I can make a living doing blogs? If someone was to say, okay, I want to start a blog, I'm talented and passionate about, I don't know, shoes, because I'm staring at beautiful shoes. So how can you make money writing a blog?
Yeah. So I think, when I first started it, it was really just like like you're saying, like the passion piece. So, and even today, if someone were to start a blog, like that has to be there, the passion, because it's not like a short-term gratification thing. It takes a while to kind of like get the content build up, like learn SEO and really start building that traffic. But I completely agree with you. Blogging is so not dead. I mean, think about your own kind of consumer behavior. Like if you are planning a trip somewhere, or you're trying to decide between, let's say you need a new piece of luggage, like luggage is expensive and you want to decide, like, do I want Rome or Calpac or Tumi, or,
am I going to go with Away, which everyone's
exactly
carrying now. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Exactly. So like, you're probably going to search like, Away bag reviews, or like Away versus Tumi, or whatever you're considering. A blog post is probably going to pop up. Like you'll probably get some like Refinery 29 and, some magazines in there too, but it's the same idea. I mean, it's a digital magazine. It's basically a blog. And so I'm constantly looking up inspiration for where to go when I'm planning a destination, and, best restaurants in that location, where to stay, best Airbnbs, that kind of thing. So blogging's definitely not dead. And then it's always kind of shocking to me how many people think that they can't actually make money from their blog. If you don't have very much traffic, sure, you can't make money from it. But if you have a healthy amount of traffic coming in, which again takes like dedication and consistency, and for me, a good like few years to really start hitting like numbers that would generate a healthy revenue, you absolutely can make money from your blog. So affiliate links, and ads revenue. So Mediavine and AdThrive are kind of like the two big players in that space.
Sorry, you cut out with that one quick second. The last two in the space.
Oh, Mediavine and AdThrive are the two big players in that space. They're kind of like the two biggest competitors, that are platforms that, there's an approval process. You have to have a certain amount of viewers a month of traffic. And then it's just like a snippet of code that you add to your website, and you have these ads in there that are just generating you money while you sleep.
Wow. So they connect, those two companies connect the right ads for you and what you're talking about, and then they get plugged in. Do you even know what's being advertised on your blog?
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, their database of advertisers is, I'm sure, massive.
Mhm.
And so you, as the content creator and the blogger, have control to a certain amount. So you can opt out of different categories if you want.
Okay.
Like I personally have opted out of, anything regarding cigarettes or guns. Like I don't want any of those types of ads on my site. There's also other different kind of categories. Like for example, let's say you are I have a friend that her blog is all about mocktail recipes. So
Okay.
she's opted out of any alcohol brands for her ads. So
Okay.
you can kind of, get specific and think about like what feels good to you and what makes sense for you. And then from there, it's actually the ads are targeted based on the reader's behavior. So if you have been looking at Nordstrom recently at a particular coat, I'm sure you've seen this, like you're scrolling a different website and that coat pops up. That's exactly what it is.
Okay. And so that's all in the SEO of the background of your site. So when you're writing, you actually put specific keywords or specific in your writing that's obviously what you're going to be teaching about. So we'll talk about your course next, because that's super exciting. So talk to me about, SEO, because that's super important when you're writing. You have to have the right, phrase, the right catch line is within your blog in order for people to search, okay, well, this is going to pop up.
Yes. So SEO is like the biggest driver for my website's traffic. I personally think that Pinterest I know that the traffic that Pinterest drives is declining just across the board with content creators, because Pinterest is becoming more focused on keeping their users within their platform rather than it used to be, it was really more about like driving users to your blog post. Yes. And now you've probably noticed it's not easy to click on a video pin or an idea pin. Like
it goes to space or
exactly.
Or you get on some ad stream that you can never scroll out of.
And that's on purpose because Pinterest wants to keep you within their platform so they can serve you more ads and make more money.
Okay.
So for me, I'm like, okay, Pinterest used to be a really big driver for my traffic. It's not anymore. And I don't think it's going to be. I don't think you should completely ignore it. I still put my content on there. I'm just not banking on it as like it's going to drive, 50,000 views like it used to a couple of years ago for me.
Okay.
And so in terms of SEO, there are so many kind of little pieces that go into how you optimize a piece of content. And the first step is really understanding how to do good keyword research, because there are kind of two common mistakes that I see with it. Either people just like come up with a keyword in their head and they don't do any research about it. So they're not looking at any like data or numbers. And either no one is searching for that keyword, or there's a ton of competition around that keyword and it has a very high, what's called difficulty score. And you're never going to rank for it, no matter how hard you try and how hard you optimize. And so it's really about like niching down, finding keywords that has a more kind of like moderate to easy difficulty score and good search volume. So people are actually searching for that every month. And then from there, it's really just a checklist of kind of all the different things, as you were mentioning, like including that key phrase in your title, in your alt tags for your images, in your headings. Like I literally have an SEO checklist that I give my students, which is like, okay, you do this, 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 and this in every post to optimize it. And once I started to really understand and learn SEO in probably like early 2019, then my traffic from Google really took off. And so the other thing that's amazing about traffic from SEO and from Google is that it is so targeted. Like you have a person that has a question or a problem and they type, their question into Google and your blog post pops up and, the heavens part, the angels sing, and you are the answer to their prayers. Like you are solving their problem for them. And then once you layer in any kind of like commercial intent to buy, then you're like double dipping because you're getting the ads revenue, but you're also getting the affiliate link revenue. So I can give you a specific example.
Please do.
So I have a post that's ranking really well that's about outdoor furniture. And so when somebody searches for like, this type of
outdoor furniture,
right? Yes. This pops up. And how likely do you think those people are to click on my links and buy outdoor furniture? Pretty likely, because they are just kind of like, they know they want some new outdoor furniture. They're just kind of looking for some help, some inspiration of like pieces that are cute and affordable and like the right vibe. Oh, that one's perfect. I saw it in this post. Click, add to cart, check out. That is so much more scalable than me trying to share this post on my Instagram stories over and over again and be like, hey guys, have you seen this post about outdoor furniture? Buy this outdoor furniture. Like, who knows if the people watching my stories are even in the market to buy some outdoor furniture today, versus everyone that is landing on that post from Google, they're looking to buy some outdoor furniture. So a post like that is targeting the exact right people. And I only have to write it once, and then year over year.
And you own it. And that's
exactly.
And it's not like Instagram, like everyone says, Teri, Instagram can go away. What if it goes away? What if it goes away? And everything you've built, this brand and this community, you need to have your own. You need to own a domain and have your own content.
That's exactly right.
And that's how it's going to happen. So if someone says, okay, I'm really getting into the nitty gritty because I'm so excited that I get to learn about this, I should take your course, which, oh my gosh, yes, because
would love to have you.
That would be awesome. So let's start there. So you're writing you're launching a course, an SEO course, and it's going to be online, or is it?
It's online. Yeah. And so I'm actually going through it right now as a beta, an initial launch with 5 women who have signed up to kind of go through it with me. They're all content creators and bloggers, and we're going through it live, and I'm getting their real-time feedback, thoughts, questions. And then from there, I'm refining it, packaging it up as an online course, and it will likely launch in the spring. So if anyone is interested, wants to be on the wait list and hear about it, I have a wait list sign up.
It's on your site.
Yep. It's at fab.com/waitlist. So I'll be, letting people know as soon as it's like officially live. But yes, it'll be a self-guided course. And then I'm also layering in one-on-one support weekly, because I know from experience, because I've also consulted for companies on their SEO. Like I know I know where people get stuck, and sometimes they just need an expert to like bounce ideas off of, or say like, am I going in the right direction with this keyword before I, spend 3 hours writing this post all about this keyword? I want to make sure that I actually, chose a good phrase to target. So every week I'm offering one-on-one support by way of like Voxer audio message or Instagram DMs for students in the course, to give them that kind of like really tailored advice and feedback on top of the course.
That is awesome, because now you're an educator. So add that to your resume. So that is awesome. So, and also I was looking, obviously, because I was not, reading so much about you this past week, and you sell presets. So for lighting, I guess, editing your photos, and you also sell, did I see fonts on there? Because your fonts on your website, I would like, oh my gosh, I need to have those fonts.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I don't have the fonts for sale, but I did a rebrand like several years ago, and had a really awesome designer. Like we went through so many different fonts together, and finally landed on what I think is the perfect one.
It is, and I want that on my Instagram stories, because we have those boring 8-10 fonts, whatever. Yeah. I'm like, how do I buy fonts to make my Instagram stories more pretty? Because they're just, they're not. And you have to buy like these apps, and then you get charged, $39 a year for this font app or whatever. But it's so nice to see a script. For those of you who haven't go to What the Fab, you have to go check it out, because you see this script writing, you can actually read it. It's not too scrolly. It's not too, you can and it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So that was very well done. So,
thank you. That makes me so happy.
I love it. So let's talk about What the Fab, because we've been talking so much about everything else. You've been to so many countries. Tell me how many.
So I just hit my 30th country.
Whoa, that is amazing. And so obviously you are more prone to, because I've checked it out, they're mostly sunny, warm spots versus the snow, but I'm not going to, poo-poo snow, because it's beautiful to shoot in gorgeous snow. And then you can get a new wardrobe, and when you have a fuzzy coat. So you can add that to the pros of shooting in the snow. But so I don't want to ask what your favorites are, because there's probably all of them have a special place in your heart because you've been to so many. But are there more destinations that you'd go back to? Because with me, I travel so often and I don't go back. I just been there, and it's not like a checklist, because it's definitely not. It's an experience. It's a moment. It's a memory. It's a treasure, because you get to go somewhere new and experience the world and the culture and other people and their food. And I mean, I was in Bangladesh and you were mentioning your India story, and I just like, it is such a special place in my heart to this day. But is there one that you'd go back to?
That's so funny that you noticed, just kind of by perusing the blog, that I go to a lot of warm weather destinations. It's just it's so true. I mean, I'm more of like a ocean and like snorkeling and diving girl. I like don't know what to do with myself in the snow, although I agree it is so beautiful. But yes, in terms of destinations I would go back to, I have a very similar kind of mindset as you mentioned. Like, I really love to explore new places. Just because I'm like, I want to see all the things. I want to go to all the places. But there are a few destinations that I've been to. Paris is one of them. I've been several times because I studied abroad there. It was like, just really opened my eyes to like the world of travel. We honeymooned there, and I've been back for a few other kind of short trips there. And then I would say London is another one. It's just like there's, so much to do and see. And I love the mix of kind of the old and the history, and then the like really strikingly modern and crazy buildings, and just like such a melting pot of different cultures. And then one that we recently went to last year that I definitely will go back to at some point in my lifetime is Santorini. Oh my gosh, how magical.
Yes. Oh, the photos are beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
You said on that you were looking to book the specific hotel for 4 years.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the mystique. It was like, I mean, so it's part of the Marriott, luxury collection. And so I had been saving up points to book it. And there's only maybe 30 something rooms. Like it's that, built into the cliffs, like cave style vibe. So beautiful. And so I could never find an opening. And then after like a year or two of trying to find a time to book, they like renovated. So they were closed for like a year. Oh. And then I was like, okay, 2020 is my year. We're going to book it. And then the pandemic happened. So it was just like this whole drawn out, like hilarious thing. And then during the pandemic, I mean, this was like before the vaccine or anything. I was looking at October 2021. And because we were in a pandemic and nobody knew when we'd be able to travel again, they finally had availability. So I was like, I'm just going to book it. And if we need to cancel, the cancellation policy gives us enough time to do that, and just like hope that we can travel by then. And we were able to. And it was like, oh my God, I was worried that I had like overhyped it in my head. Not at all. It was amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah, the photos are amazing. The blog is amazing. So all of you listening out there, if you are traveling anywhere, especially warm and sunny, maybe not my snow bunnies, but definitely somewhere warm and sunny, you have to check out What the Fab, because so many tips and tricks, so many travel packing ideas. Even when you travel in, you have a lot, you blog a lot about fashion and what to wear, and love those posts too. And I love that you have followed your dream and got to where you are today. Elise, it was so nice having you here on our show. And I will say, because we didn't have too much time to chat about that, but you have your own podcast as well.
I do. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me on. It was so fun to chat with you and talk shop. And the podcast is, it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that. It's called the What the Fab podcast. And it's, kind of a similar vibe. Like, it's sharing other women's stories and empowering women. And I also share some solo episodes where I talk about just kind of like life tips and tricks and productivity hacks and just valuable, advice.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for bringing me joy and inspiration today, and everyone out there listening. And we will see you on the other side.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to be notified of new episodes. To learn more about the Stellar Girl movement, please visit us at stellargirl.com.